It sucks. Ah, yes, Tory. How are you?
I'm good.
I have a little bit of good news, maybe surprising news to you and Michael Dean. You guys cover all things friends from work, and the colleagues cover all friends from work. But I bet you don't know what is today's a very special day to me. What is it?
It is the 2nd of February, right?
Yes, Black History Month. Easing
Black
in.
History Month. And it is also Marcella's birthday.
No, but that's a great guess. Michael Dean, I'm going to need you to pop on and tell me what you think today is.
Someone wrote Groundhog Day.
It's Groundhog's Day, which was what I was going to go with.
It has something to do with the number.
2-2.
Like a milestone.
2/2/26.
Stop. Get out of the dates. What is this? Wait, an astrologist? Like it's a milestone.
It's your 10th year. Oh, 4th year, 3rd year, 4th, 5th year of being sober.
It's our 100th episode, you effers. We did it.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes. Thank the Lord for my super hot Excel spreadsheet of a girlfriend for tracking all of these, because clearly we didn't know and would have never known. But yes, Gabriel, Julia, Marcy, just all you guys that have been here, ELC Jag, you guys know how we feel. Brandon, we would not be here without you guys, and we absolutely love doing the show. So much so, we forgot that this was our 100th show. So I appreciate that.
That's true.
I appreciate y'all doing the show with y'all. And I appreciate the colleagues being patient as Tory transitions into a librarian that is fired for improper conduct with a 5th-year grad student. I don't take the glasses off. I like the glasses.
Right, oh God.
No, it looks good.
Okay.
Yes. Why do you always abandon the thing where I'm like, that's a good look?
Because you just mocked me. Also, I feel like I look like wallpaper.
Is your friend.
That's true. I look like wallpaper today. I had my dress on backwards the whole show. My Colorado.
Did you really? What's
sure
going on with you?
I don't know. It's very Tory to have the dress on backwards.
That's like something Ford would do. I was telling when I was on stage this weekend, I told the audience, I was just because I was talking about Ford, and I was just like, imagine going out with your sweatpants on inside out and truly not caring, like being so focused on where you're going and where you are in that moment. It doesn't matter. He ain't putting shit in his pockets, but you know what? It's like we've created a rule. You gotta wear it inside. Wear it the right way. But who determines what's the right way? So yes,
that's right. I like his style.
Inside, yes, he does. He marches to the beat of his own drummer. So yeah, it was I had a fun weekend of shows this weekend. Tori, what'd you do?
Man, my weekends my weekends are kind of tough because I need to make better plans. So I did do some a yoga sound bath, where someone is like,
wait, aren't you supposed to stay still? And doesn't yoga require movement?
No, you're doing yoga, but someone is like, I don't want to say this wrong, but like rimming a bowl.
Yes. There's only one way to say that, and it's always good.
And then
how long was class? It was going a while till they did that, and then I was done pretty quickly after.
I only lasted 2 minutes, but and then someone like rings a chime and stuff. It was good. It was good. It was good. It was okay. It was a lot of bowl rimming. Michael Dean asked how much. It was a lot of bowl rimming, but as you're doing this, you're also like sweating and going through the yoga. I found the noise to be a little bit random. So it was just like, chimes, chimes.
Yeah, I've it's always bothered me with stuff like that because I can't get out of my own head. And I know if I did, the reason I love that you do that is because you never know what's going to work. but I know that I would go in there. Sarah would guilt me, and she'd be like, we're going. And I'd be like, and in the car, I'd be like, okay, stop being a D and just go in there. Everything she takes me to, I end up like. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I'll get there, and I know like 2.5 minutes, I'd be like, all right, enough with that bell, and then once I have that thought, it's over because in my head, and then I'm just looking at them. It's like, oh, nice ankle socks on the outside of your leggings. All right. Like I want to be able to relax, but I can't stop being a jerk. But I'm glad you did something for your mental health, colleagues.
And I fostered a dog too, Ben the foster dog.
Yeah, how'd that go?
It went really well, and Ben is so adorable. I think I'm doing something wrong on walks because he pulls really hard, and I had to figure it all out. But he cuddle bugged with me. He's available at Up, Pup, and Away. His name is Ben. He's such a love bug. And I'm going to be maybe getting Betsy back. So we'll see to foster next time. So still going with the foster situation.
You're bringing Betsy back like Justin Timberlake?
I'm bringing Betsy back.
I can't wait. Tory, I told you I thought the dog fostering thing would be a wonderful thing for you. And since we are on the topic of animals, let's get into our first. And I'm making this one of our main stories just because I was messing with Michael Dean earlier. Tory, we're going to hit with the hard news first. And as you know, world extraordinaire executive producer Michael Dean, and I truly mean that, we do not deserve him. We are trying to.
We don't deserve him.
Yeah, we absolutely don't. It's like when you walk in a room and everybody's like, what's the relationship? And you're like, this is my girlfriend. It's like, what is happening? Like when it's so far out of your league, it's not even mean. It's just like what?
Yeah.
In the bathroom, people are like, what's the arrangement here? Like in the men's bathroom. We do not deserve Michael Dean. But Michael Dean said, we got to start off. It's a heavy news day, so let's ease into it. So Tory, you kind of said it earlier. Today is Groundhog's Day. Shout out to you and the colleagues for knowing that. I would go my whole. Okay, that's the white people Lion King right there. That is amazing.
Punxsutawney Phil.
Shout out
Punxsutawney Phil. By the way, guys, did you know in Denver or Boulder, we have one called something Fred, Firestone Fred, and it's a taxidermy animal, and they curl, and I don't know. It's a sad attempt at punk. It's like the Temu Punxsutawney Phil. Like just with that guy. But yeah,
I do like that you started in with that story, and then your brain realized, no facts, not even the name or the city. There is that place. But Tory, do you believe in any kind of for as much as I'm a jerk, I'm totally for this. I think part of being a link in the chain of humanity is having serious traditions and then kind of silly ones that we go along with. I'm down with a little Groundhog's Day. I'm not going there. I'll watch the movie. Love that.
And I love the tradition. I just want to ask the chat, how do you, Brandon says, it's too cold to be waving your groundhog around. I want to know
what your grandfather says when he's uncomfortable with like sexual language of any. You're like, it's just the human body, Grandpa. Put your groundhog away. Your grandmother's coming upstairs.
You're killing me today. How do they know he saw his shadow?
I have never thought about that. That is an extremely fair question. How do they know? I mean, it's a terrified rat that you're now putting close. Think about like in terms of size, like that rat is so much further off the ground than it's ever been in its life. That's like space to them because they never leave the ground. All of a sudden, a 6-foot man is like, it's just, how do you know what it's seeing? It's seeing sunlight and maybe the end of its days. But shout out, I'm down for Groundhog's Day. What's your favorite line in the movie Groundhog's Day, Tory?
Like
Ned Ryerson from high school? Come on.
Watch that step. It's a doozy.
That's a good one too. All right. Shout out.
And did he see it? I know that it's 6 more weeks of winter, but does that mean he saw his shadow or he didn't see his shadow?
Michael Dean actually has this here.
Okay.
It saw its shadow.
shadow.
Yeah, so
winter
that indicates more winter. Do you know exactly the specific location that they do the Groundhog's Day? Gobbler's Knob.
Punxsutawney?
Yes, that's the I guess that's the place. Yes, that's where they do at. It's like at, you know, whatever. It's Gobbler's Knob in Punxsutawney.
Oh, okay.
Would you buy a great house at a great price, but if it was in Gobbler's Knob, you'd have to say that to everybody. Every Macy's card you fill out. Yeah, you'd be like, oh man.
That's not a great name.
Come back to the place. I'm at Gobbler's Knob, knocked twice. It just doesn't, it kills a little bit.
Pull your groundhog out at Gobbler's.
Yeah, put your groundhog away. Wait till you get to Gobbler's Knob for that kind of. Right.
So Michael Dean says they know if he saw this shadow because it's a staged moment decided by the handlers at sunrise, not because a groundhog is reliably doing anything scientific.
I feel like that last part was in from just like somebody that wanted to take a shot at this.
Totally.
The groundhog did nothing. All right, it peed down the guy's arm. All right, Tory, let's do this. Tory, I was so worried that we were going to go 10 to 15 seconds without talking about the Epstein files. And I'm glad that that's over now because there was a new drop. Tory, did you hear it? Did you hear about it? Did you see it? What were your thoughts?
I heard about it. I saw it. I saw Prince Andrew running on a kitchen island chasing little girls. I saw him on top of a girl that seemed to be either passed out or laying flat on her back. I heard about Trump using his finger in certain ways to rate the girls on how, I mean, it's just awful. And about essay from President Trump as well that people testified. And remember, this is only like a little bit of what we got. There's so much more of the Epstein files, so much more. And what's so crazy to me is we just heard Kash Patel testify in Congress and say there's no hard evidence that Epstein did anything wrong with minors. And then I'm like, I just wanted to scream, except for all the women that have come forward. Like it's
Tory,
so
it's
strange.
Infuriating.
Yeah, and also like of all the women that have come forward against all the men, only one person is in jail because of this, and it's a woman. So it's like it really shows you how much they aren't treated. Like they're like, why didn't you come forward with your accusation? We did, and he's the president of the United States. It's insanity to me that their voices are not hard evidence, that their testimony. Absolutely. And people have also testified as to being in certain places at certain times that go with the Epstein files. Like this would make sense. So it is very disgusting. And no arrests. Nothing has happened.
Yes, as of this weekend, Tory, I want you to think about this. Pull out and see the entire. Do you know who, since the whole Epstein file bomb has been dropped, right now in terms of public figures that are in jail? It's Ghislaine Maxwell, Don Lemon, 3 other activists, and Praz from the Fugees.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. That's nobody else. And Tory, what you were talking about, what you referred to, and I think it might be something we're going to have to power through as the public, as the frontward face of good. And I mean, all of us colleagues, we're going to have to talk about this uncomfortable stuff and say it out loud because it's really gross what Trump has been accused of doing. And it says that the Trump DOJ, first of all, they released it and then quickly deleted it because they were like, oh, we shouldn't have put that out. Of course. Well, that's nothing to see here. Yes, it says that they released a slide after showing a picture of Jeffrey Epstein's face that said, blank offender. And it said that he was Donald Trump was having parties at Mar-a-Lago called Calendar Girls. Yeah. And like you said, Tory, he would bring them on stage. He would assault them. Some very famous names were in the audience, including family members. And to your point, Tory, with these young women that were coming forward reporting things, don't forget that some of these young women were, I think the first accusation was in 94 or 6. Like this goes back way before he was president. And it brings up another thing. We'll talk about. I want to know whether you think he's deleting files, even though it seems like it's a moot point at this point because people have already downloaded it. But it's not just Trump's DOJ. It was the Biden. They sat on this. They had all this information. He let his son get indicted and stood up there to be mocked, and he had this in the trunk.
Yeah,
like Tory.
I'll never ever understand that.
I thought maybe there was like some kind of angle, and then it's like they just handed the reins over to this second version of the Trump administration. And not even, almost like if you sell a used car to somebody and be like, hey, don't lock the trunk, otherwise you can't get it open again. I would have just mentioned to the American people, you voted. I'm glad your voices were heard. Little fun fact, here's what's going on with these people. Enjoy. Or maybe say that before you lose. But the fact that they just sat on this forever, I feel like the DOJ in every administration needs to admit, because basically what they're saying now is we did receive that complaint, but they were deemed not credible.
Right.
Right. Okay. All right. But can't you say that about if for 5 days in a row, 20 people come into the emergency room and they say, I got food poisoning at Alan Tory's restaurant, but we know somebody at the DOJ. On Friday, with the 100th person coming in, vomiting, coming out of North and South, they could say, we didn't deem them credible.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they did. I mean, that's what they did. And that's why it's so strange of who they value and who they don't. Women after women after women saying the same stories after same stories. Now we have the files and they're still like, there's no credible evidence. Like, how is that And now they said Todd Blanche was like, it's case closed. And I don't think anyone's going to do time for this. Like, there should be a perp walk. There should be an arrest by the FBI. There should be at least an indictment. There should be some kind of movement towards justice for these people. Because when I was younger, if a president was accused of what this is, it would take him down. This would not be like, yeah, and then we move on. Like he assaulted them with his fingers in front of people and rated them based on how, I don't even want to say it, but
there was one young woman that said that when she was told or forced to perform
allegedly, by the way,
allegedly told to perform oral on the president, that she accidentally bit him and he punched her. There are several accusations of him being the president, of him physically assaulting women. And go back to the Access Hollywood.
You're breaking up now.
Oh, am I? Okay. How about now? Am I good?
You're frozen. Okay, you're good now.
No. Okay, we're good. Okay, I mean, good? Okay. I mean, go back to the Access Hollywood tape. I mean, he was talking about physically, no one, you could be a jerk and be like, I'm famous. When I see a woman, I walk up and say, kiss me. That's just being a jerk. That's being pushy. That's being, intimidating. But to say I grabbed them, I have never heard of all the tens of thousands of men that have passed before me in the 48 years of my life, guys I met at the bar. Oh, this is so-and-so's cousin. That's not how men talk. They'd be like, dude, when I walk in a room, I know all eyes are on me. I could have any woman I want. You could be cocky. But I've never heard guys say, when I see a woman, I grab them by that. That it's just not a phrase that you would use unless that is a tactic that you use. And that's what E. Jean Carroll accused him of doing in that dressing room, that he was found liable.
And she just won an $83.3 million lawsuit of defamation, because even after she won, he kept talking crap about her. So she sued again, and she just won $83 million lawsuit. I didn't realize, Al, what you're saying is on that bus, that was just a straight confession. Like that was that was actually a testimony of what he was doing. According to the files, that's exactly what he was doing. So you're absolutely right. And nothing is ever done. Like, can you imagine if Obama had a hint of this? Like, now we don't have the votes to impeach. Someone asked, why don't we, it does sound like Diddy, Julia. Why don't we impeach him? They just don't have enough votes in the Senate to remove him. But I agree, they should move forward with at least some kind of, I don't know. I mean, I know they're questioning Kash Patel, the head of the FBI, but to have no
Okay.
movement on this really shows you where women stand in America at this point. And
See, Tory,
it's
I'll
just
say this though, and I want to get your
unbelievable.
thoughts.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be their choice this time. I think that there is going to be a level of outrage that makes it impossible for them to do anything. I think that because this is out, something terrible is going to happen soon to distract. But I do not think that you can govern for another 3 years with all of this stuff
Ooh.
coming out all the time. They're only halfway through the Epstein docs. There's millions of them.
Yeah.
People have already downloaded them. For usually in these cases, the survivors have all gone missing. Oh, she couldn't make it through life. We can't find. We know exactly where they are. There are a lot of them on YouTube.
Yeah, they showed their faces in Congress. Like they looked at their faces in their eyes, these abused, allegedly survivors, in my opinion, and then decided that they don't need to discuss, there doesn't need to be an investigation. And how, in my opinion, I don't understand how this doesn't take down a president. This took down Prince Andrew. Like, why doesn't it work with our people?
Tory, I do not know.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I wanted to play this for you.
Please. Yeah.
Because this is his Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutkin. I don't know if you saw this interview. It was on CBS, and we'll get to CBS right after this.
Ooh, the deep nuance of Howard Lutnick. This guy's gross.
Right. So how come Bill Gates and all these other people could hang around him and not see what you saw? Or did they see it and ignore it? Or
no, they participated.
Right.
That's what his MO was, get a massage. And what happened in that massage room, I assume, was on video. This guy was the greatest.
Tory, that's the Commerce Secretary on a very friendly network. Notice what the anchor, who probably has some other interests going on, just mentioned Bill Gates. That's interesting,
Yeah.
But that wouldn't normally be a big deal because this guy, Howard Lutnick, talked in that interview because his house was literally right next door to Jeffrey Epstein's, literally. And he said that there was a pathway that you could walk. And he said one time Jeffrey knocked on his door. He and invited him and his wife over. They went over, and upon leaving, they were like, "Oh, he's creepy." And he said he never saw him again. And he said that happened like in the mid-aughts, in the mid-2000s. The only problem with that is there was an email from his wife post-conviction. And Tory,
that's right.
Yes, let me read you what Howard Lutkin's wife wrote Jeffrey Epstein, which is so weird because I don't know why you would send this email if you haven't seen him since 2006. His wife says in 2012, December of 2012, an email to Epstein's assistant, Allison Lutnick, writes, "We are looking forward to visiting you. We will be coming from Caneel Bay in the morning." They were on a yacht, by the way. "We are a crowd, 2 families, each with 4 kids, ranging in age from 7 to 16. 6 boys, 2 girls. I hope that's okay. I would love to join you for lunch."
You know what's so interesting, Al? I just watched Melinda Gates be interviewed, and she was allowed one question about Epstein. And who was interviewing her? I can't remember. And the woman said, "It says that Bill Gates is all over this. What did you think about Jeffrey Epstein? Is that the reason you divorced him?" And she said, "I met Jeffrey Epstein one time, and I felt like he was the devil incarnate. I could just feel how awful he was. And that was a large part of why." And I made very clear to Bill, I did not want him to have any part of this. And then obviously the divorce happened. Also, Peter Attia, a very famous longevity doctor that's like super popular right now, he's all over this. In his book, he even says his kid was sick unconscious receiving CPR, and he had to do important work, and that work was to talk and deal with Jeffrey Epstein. So Steve Tisch, another person, I think Michael Dean talked about it.
Wait, Tory, hold on 1 second. Put it, because I want to talk about that Peter Tia as well.
Yeah.
Because I have an email from him, this a life coach. But before, I want to circle all the way back because there's so many disgusting people, Tory. I don't know if we have the time.
I know.
The Allison Lutnick, the end of that email, you're writing somebody that has already been convicted of SA. They are an offender. They have to register as an offender. Would you ever email them and say, 4 kids ranging in age from 7 to 16, 2 boys and 2 girls?
Yeah, why do you have to say that?
I mean, excuse me, 6 boys and 2 girls. Why would you say that to? Why would you take them down there?
I
you want
agree
to have that, just that conversation, but then to be and the girls are getting tall. Like, what kind of weird connection?
It makes you it makes you want to throw up in your mouth because you're like, are they? Yeah, and it's a parent.
Well, I mean, don't forget, like, what were the Menendez brothers accusing their parents of doing?
SA and sodomy.
Yeah. What do you think a lot of these Disney kids accuse their parents of doing? Whether they're not like saying, go with this man and do this. They're saying, yeah, go up there for an 8 p.m. audition in his hotel room. We'll be back in an hour.
Yeah.
Come on, dog.
Just
you know what's going on without. Yeah.
Just take them to the slaughterhouse. Just dropping them off. I mean, that's a lot with Michael Jackson, allegedly, with the parents saying, yeah, we let him have a sleepover, allegedly. You know, no one is going to back that up. First of all, thank you, Marcy. It's so good to see you back. Thank you so much for the $10. I very much appreciate it. But again, no movement. What do I always say? No enforcement, no busting down the Oval Office to get this alleged child pedophile that is running our country. Like, I don't have much to say because I don't understand. Yeah. Julia, the way he treated Trump treats his own daughter is so sketchy. The way she sits on his lap, and he said, if the body on her, and like, we're all okay with this.
I forgot about that.
You know, like, we're just okay with this as a country.
Asked that little girl in the escalator, and he said, I'll be dating her in 8 years or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just,
they can't help themselves. And that life guru coach, what'd you say his name was?
His name is Peter Tia, and he's really big in the longevity, like how to sustain your long life. Yeah, he said his kid was very sick. And in a book he wrote, he was busy doing important work. And that work was actually writing to Jeffrey Epstein. And yeah, everyone's involved, W. I agree with you. It's just all coming out and no one has any reaction.
Except for the people. And, you know, before we get to the reaction of the people and how muted that's been, because CBS can't, because they're bought and paid for. You can't even say or write Epstein's name on TikTok without your account being completely taken down or 100% muted. You know it's not going to get any traction on X. We know how Zuckerberg feels.
Elon's all over it.
Right. So, like, I think the people are outraged, but for the first time ever, we don't have any outlets to express that. They got the biggest cable outlet with Fox. You know, they're running a story on how Groundhog's Day, it should actually be a white groundhog, an albino one, and how it's unfair to them. And so they're not talking about this. CNN is in the process of being bought by Larry Ellison. So, you know, they're trying to keep a cool vibe on things. So he doesn't come in there and clean house. So CNN cannot be trusted. I haven't clicked on CNN in 2 months. CNN is a propaganda network. Do not believe anything you read on there. I'm not saying it's false. I'm saying they're not talking about what's important. What is important, what I don't want to lose in here, Tory, is the email from this longevity life coach guru bullshit. Let's read what the life coach really wants to say. He says, P is indeed low carb. So you can read that for yourself. I actually hope you don't. I think you know what P stands for. Still awaiting results on gluten content, though. Tee-hee-hee. You're so funny, Mr. Lifestyle Coordinator. But, Tory, you brought up something I thought was really interesting because this is the new story over. This is the new big hire at CBS, right? And obviously Barry Weiss was brought in. to turn that network into a shell of what it was. But I started thinking about the connections between Barry Weiss and Epstein, and this came up. You just read the top line, but Jeffrey Epstein and Barry Weiss's wife are really good friends. Yeah, they're good friends too.
Everybody's
They're
in this.
all the same person, because what I always say, you cannot play ball unless you are all the way in. They can't have a Tory Showman or an Al Jackson that gets a conscience after 5 scotches and goes and tells TikTok, I couldn't do that anymore, goes and tells YouTube all the stories that I've found. Everybody has to be involved, including Brett Ratner. Who just directed. Yeah. Tell the people, Tory.
He just directed the Melania documentary. He, by the way, was accused of SA before. He's here holding the chest of a teenage girl next to Jeffrey Epstein, if you can see. And he has been sort of persona non grata in Hollywood. He's been left out. Nobody will work with him. And now we see pictures of him. And of course, he is the one who directs the Melania documentary, which, by the way, on Fox, they're saying had standing room only in theaters.
Shut your mouth. No, they did not.
Standing room only. And maybe because you're standing because you're walking out and trying to leave. Someone said if they
maybe they're going to find out they took all the chairs out, and they're like, yeah.
They said if this was on a plane, I'd still walk out. I heard that as a review. Julia, thank you for the donation, and it is an important conversation. And I will just say again and again, believe women. If you want to know who's in this photo, that's Brett Ratner. We just said he's the director. He is holding the chest of a teenage girl, and Jeffrey Epstein is to the left. He's all over this as well. So, and Al, I do want to just say this. A lot of Republicans who aren't speaking out, you just wonder the motive. Are they also like, how much dirt does this guy have on them for not, I mean, if you think back on the days of like John McCain, and I'm not saying I agree with his policies, but he certainly would react to a bombshell drop like this with some kind of anger or morals, and we're seeing almost none of that. So I wonder how many are there people questioning, are these people trying because they're also involved in somehow? So it's just it's a mess at the highest levels.
It's a mess, and it's interconnected with our media, because Larry Ellison is obviously very Weiss. He installed Barry Weiss, and also let's get to this. It's kind of boring to talk about, but you know what? Our new Kevin Warsh, that name that you see at the top, is slated to be tapped as our new Fed chair.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're going to get rid of Jerome Powell, and we're going to bring in another guy. No reason.
Jerome Powell. Yeah, they're indicting him. I want to say Shock Do 78. I agree with you. It's the silence that's so weird. It speaks volumes, is what they wrote, and I find that so strange when you look back in history, especially American history, and you see all the women and survivors that bared their faces and came forward with courage, and we're like, I don't see any credible, and they're standing there testifying and saying this happened with backups, and we're like, nope, nothing to see here. Like we have to trust a dead man's files over these women. That shows you what America values. I mean, it really does. So I just say, believe women, believe women, believe women. So I agree with you, W. Silence is complicity. How are we not having a perp walk at this moment? How is he not at least being indicted or questioned? I mean, it's like shocking to me that people are just okay with this. And remember Bill Clinton with Monica Lewinsky? That was every news for a year. I mean, and just nothing with this.
Absolutely nothing. And okay, yeah.
Karen donated $10. I just want to say thank you so much, Karen.
Thank you, Karen.
Yep.
It just it's weird, because like, even though this is our 100th episode, probably from like episode 50 on, I kept saying everybody's involved, but I was like, maybe that's painting with a broad brush, Al. But I don't think it was.
No.
It's everybody, from the director of your wife's movie to the Fed chair to Bill Clinton. Did you read the email that Bill Gates sent to Jeffrey Epstein?
Yeah, it's disgusting. Bill Gates is a human being.
Yes, he gave his wife an STD.
Yeah.
From one of the Russian hookers that were at the island and was trying to figure out how to handle it. And I was like, this is why billionaires will never take over the world. Because, bro, you're one of the richest guys in the world. You're calling a guy on an island saying, what should I do? It's too late for that, bro. If you at least have a I couldn't believe like what a pathetic worm, like what a child like, and I mean, you think about Woody Allen and Richard Branson, and also the connection that we don't talk about, I think because he's so difficult to look at. When you say his name, you have to picture him, but Steve Bannon his connection with taking mirror selfies.
Yeah. And
Tory.
speaking of mirrors, did you see that was leaked a deposition of Jeffrey Epstein, and they asked him, do you think you're the devil? Do you know what he said?
No.
He said, I have a mirror. And then they were like, this is a serious question. And he's like, I don't know. And nothing happens. And nothing is happening with all these people. The alleged pedophile.
I think it's maybe deeper than even we're going, because yes, we assign a term like pedophile. We'll just say that. What are they gonna do? Take the stream down? They take it down every video on YouTube. But I think it's that we are surrounded, whether we know it or not.
Yeah.
And we are in a sea of sociopaths.
Yeah.
I just think
the top positions, the top power positions.
And they got there because they don't care what motive they use. If they're like, hey, I can get some incriminating evidence on Al if I take him to a strip club with adult women and video him. They'll be like, okay, I can get some corrupt information on person X by getting them in a room full of 5 12-year-olds. Okay. I don't think they care. And I don't know if I ever told you this story, but it stayed with me every day of my life. And I realized like how many people it probably has defined as I passed through this life. I was a young comic at the Miami Improv, and there was a manager that was kind of like their rock star manager. And after, this is 2009, so this is like fun Miami. Like we just closed the doors of the bar and he would just feed us drinks. And we were the last two at the bar. It's probably 3:30, 4 in the morning. And I don't know what we were talking about, but he just like confessed in a very honest way. He was just like, Al, I don't know if I ever told you, but I'm a sociopath. And I was like, oh, what is that?
Wait, go back. Say it again.
Okay, where'd you lose me? Sorry.
No, you just said path. Was he saying he's a sociopath?
Yeah. Oh, yes. He was like, Al, I'm a sociopath. And I was like probably 11 drinks in at this point. And I was just like, what does that mean? And he just had this stare because he wasn't trying to be funny. He was just saying what it was. He was like, I don't feel things for people. Like,
you don't
he was
have
like, he goes, I like you. But if there was something I had to do to you to move up, I would.
Yeah.
And I would never think about it again. And I think understanding that, we need to grow up in our language as adults, all of us. Stop using words like he's the devil and the demon is in him. No, that's a sociopath. These are the characteristics that they hold, and this is how you deal with that kind of person.
Yeah.
Remember when Mo Vita was over at the house and we were watching a game the other day, and she was saying somebody that she knows very well is a narcissist. And she was like, I could have told the whole country how to deal with this because she has experience. But she didn't say my mama got the devil in her. Like that's not helping anything.
Right.
So colleagues, when we go out, let's try and use our big boy and big girl words, just start calling these people out for what they are. They're not devilish. They're not, what is this? Sinners. Grow the F up. We're surrounded by sociopaths that don't care. So go ahead, Tory.
I agree. And no, I completely agree. And I just, last point on this is that imagine being one of those girls who is 14, 13, seeing all this happen. You have the bravery to then come forward, accuse the sitting president, 2 members of Congress. Do you know how scary it is to testify in Congress with your face being shown saying he touched me here, he did Ard me here. He did this here. And then no one does anything about it. That's wild. That is wild. And may I say, someone in the chat said, at least Britain has a spine because they did something to Prince Andrew. And I totally agree, because Prince William wrote, "We stand with the survivors." And I was like, God dang it, if they don't have more balls than we do here in America. And I'm sickened. I'm sickened how many people in power that we don't even know about are all getting roles and jobs because they're all in this connected thing. And by the way, I'm a Democrat. If Bill Clinton, and I loved Bill Clinton, if he is part of this, which it seems he is, he should be also arrested. And it's not by party lines. I don't want children to be sacrificed like that. I mean, that's horrific. So these poor survivors, they did everything right.
I can't imagine what it was like for them to just grow up in a country that they know. And don't forget that they did redact a lot of the famous and powerful people in this latest drop, but they didn't, protect the victims. And Tory, nothing in this world is by mistake, homie. They did that because they know that we live in a country where those women will now receive a deluge of death threats. Don't forget that, whatever mini version of Alex Jones is out there is going to be directing to these liars. So those, I mean, the Sandy Hook survivors, some of those people had moved 3 and 4 times because they're relentless. And that's what this government is depending on. They need their minions to focus their crazy attention on a woman that's trying to get her life back on track, instead of looking up. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of people that will accommodate them in that. So I'm glad we had this conversation. It's disturbing, and
no consequences yet. None. Not one. The only person in jail is a woman from all of this. And you should remember that. That's disgusting. And then, so, like, Tory, let me ask you, how do we have a country still then? Because I don't want to hear nothing about any laws or I told you, I don't want to hear anything about voting or the Republicans that voted 2-1 not to. I don't want to hear shit from them. Straight up. I feel nothing. I am now embodying your sociopathic. I never want to hear another Republican say another word. Unless they do all something.
In on this. They're not going to do anything, because you, like I keep saying, you wouldn't get to that point. They weed out the Republican. Republican just dropped out in Minneapolis. Was he running for governor?
Mark
he dropped
Cadle.
out.
He was embarrassed. He was embarrassed, Mark Cadle, because he didn't want to tell his daughters of what ICE was doing. I do want to say that I know that Prince Andrew didn't have a lot of power, but at least there was a consequence, right? He lost his power, he lost his title, he lost his house, he lost the money. I agree with you. He didn't really hold power, but they did something. You know what I mean? That means something to someone publicly who was touched by him inappropriately. That means justice to people. And for us to ignore this and move on and talk about other things as if this wasn't our sitting president is disgusting to me. Disgusting.
Right. I read some of those emails about what he was accused to have been saying, and I guess some girl didn't want to do whatever he wanted her to do. And he said, "Don't make me disappear you like I did the other one."
To that 12-year-old.
Right. So
they said there was absolutely. They said there was an alleged newborn. We saw that they was gone the next day or something. Or I mean, there's a whole talk about a newborn. No accountability. It's just nothing. And we're speaking. Nothing will happen. We can talk and talk and talk. And members of Congress have zero spine, none to take on. I do believe a McCain, someone like that would have put up articles of impeachment. Someone would have, but not now.
Right.
Not now.
All right. Well, Tory, I will say that maybe something is happening. It's not always all doom and gloom. So let's do this. Politicians probably doing something shitty, but not in this situation, Tory. I got some good news. Democrat Taylor Remmitt flipped a GOP-held Texas state Senate seat in a special election. The Democrat Taylor won a special election for the Texas State Senate and flipped a reliable reliably Republican district that Donald Trump won by 17 points in 2024. Now, that is a huge deal. I'll tell you this. I was talking to my one of my best friends in the world, John Vargas, a good friend of mine, lives in Miami, and he was like, bro, I don't think people that don't live here that understand that when Miami just elected its first progressive female mayor. Yeah,
it's mind-blowing.
People are just like, what is this? Because I think that our voices have been muted by the powers that be.
Yeah.
You know, but we still speak with our vote.
Yeah. And by the way, just today on Instagram, just before I sat down, first of all, Texas, deep South, dark red, I think since 92 or something hasn't had this happen. It's a preview of what I believe will happen to the midterms. Trump is going to be hot about this because this is like his type of, you know, I can easily get this. But today he was on Fox, I believe. I might be wrong on this, but he talked about nationalizing the vote. And I want to be very clear with you. The states always have, even in the Constitution, have dealt with voting, not the federal government dealing with it. So for him to start talking about vote, now you're going to start to hear things about not wanting the midterms. It's all going to start to trickle down because he's seeing the reaction. He's seeing the blue wave coming. He's seeing this Texas senator, a senator, change to a Democrat. So just know that if I'm not clairvoyant, you're going to start hearing more about how the vote isn't fair and that it's rigged and that we need to nationalize it and we need to do this. That is going to be his new MO. That is going to be the topic of conversation because he wants nothing more than to stop these midterms. His polls are in the tank. They are trashed. The ICE, very unpopular, extremely. I mean, he's got Tom Tills asking for an impeachment of Kristi Noem, saying that this is awful. A dark red Republican is saying this. So just expect the voting to be on the tip of Trump's tongues from now on to the midterms.
And Tory, I think that's what last week in Atlanta and Fulton County was about.
I agree with you.
You know, so they raid the Fulton County ballot
Georgia,
you know, office. Yeah, in Georgia. And you know, obviously Fulton County is a you know, that's almost always Democrat. And what they're going to do, because now I don't know if you saw the press conference, but it was from the people that work in that office, like the head of it, and they were saying we can no longer guarantee the security of these documents. They took them, and Kristi Noem just has them by herself. So I'm sure there's just going to be some like a red crayon that said cheated on one of the rigged. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they wrote it. I can't believe it. But what they're going to do is they're going to be like, we found a lot of discrepancies. We can't get into it because of you know, privacy issues. But because of that, we're going to have to send in ICE to make sure that the vote goes, and then we're going to take the ballots. Yeah, because the only thing that we know for sure in a world where we don't know if we're going to see the next sunrise, Tory, is that they know that they cannot leave it to the people to vote. They cannot. We talked about it briefly last week that the special election in Virginia, the Democrat won. I think it was 78% to 22 or something, or 12. Yeah, 22%. It was like they're not. It's not a blue wave. I think tsunami is. I think it seems like the destruction of the Republican Party. Yeah, it really. I don't see how you can come back from this.
I agree. MAG is coming down. Today, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who, whatever you want to say, has seen the writing on the wall, said MAGA was all a lie. And the first thing that
you know
she
what
did.
Biggie Smalls said?
What?
It was all a dream. That's why I mess with him. Go ahead.
I love Biggie Smalls. The Virginia governor, her first mode of action was taking aim at ICE and how that they can be arrested and that they can be taken down. I also want to give a shout out to Philly. They just passed legislation. No masks can be worn. There needs to be a warrant signed by a judge. If any of this is wrong, the local police can come and arrest. So Philly is not playing. This is preemptive. They are before they even get to the city, they're ready to fight back. So America overwhelmingly doesn't like this. And so I think they're terrified. And now it's just going to be, they're going to take the votes away. That's what I'm really, really scared about. So
I
yeah.
mean, it sounds weird to say, but I would understand. I'm like, you guys got to try. You know, it would be like if I'm in the running against Tyson Beckford for world's sexiest man. I got to try and take him out. I can't win on. I gotta get something. I gotta Tanya Harding him or something. I can't go heads up.
It is a Tanya Harding-like situation. That's such a good
Yeah.
example. They're like, we know this won't work. We're gonna bash him at the knees, and the knees are the votes. You're absurdly right. I mean, that's exactly right. But yeah, they're gonna Tanya Harding this, and he's gonna try and go for that third term. And it's just he just doesn't follow the rules, and no one holds him accountable. No one.
All right. Well, Tory, you know who does follow the rules? These people. Tory, you know we're not getting out of here without talking about the Grammys. Did you watch?
Grammys. Yes, I did watch. And interesting Grammys.
What struck you the most?
First of all, so happy Olivia Dean won Best New Artist. I think she's phenomenal. She also spoke out and said, I'm the granddaughter of an immigrant. These people are brave and should be celebrated. Bad Bunny won. And at the end, he said, I just want to say, ice out. We're not savages. We're not animals. We're not illegal. We're Americans. By the way, Bad Bunny is an American citizen and Nicki Minaj is not, which I think is just so ironic. But
I mean, but doesn't that sum up this whole movement?
Totally. It's just so hypocritical, you know. You know, a lot of things. I don't know if we have Chappell Roan's outfit, but she wore like a nipple piercing that went into a dress. That was my big take on the outfits. Trevor Noah went hard. I agree with Mike. There it is. Look at that. You see that, Al?
Wow. Hold on. Let me change the background so it's not like somebody's terrible back there.
Oh,
let's do a fun. There we go. Okay.
There it is. So she likes to make an entrance, and this was one. I don't think it's flattering. I don't care that she did it. I just don't think it's very flattering. But Trevor Noah said Nicki Minaj is not here. The crowd erupted. And now Trump is getting mad when Trevor Noah said he wants Greenland because there's no more Epstein Island. So he needs an island. And Trump wrote about this. So it obviously hit a nerve. Whenever it hits a nerve, he projects and it's like a confession and threatens a defamation lawsuit over to Trevor Noah. And then finally, I just want to say that Cher went up and gave the last award, and it was so embarrassing, Al. The first thing she did was she got up there, she accepted an award and then walked off. And Trevor Noah's like, you have to say the nominees. And she's like, oh. So she comes back and then she's like, okay. And then she reads the nominees and they're like, and the winner is, and she goes, Luther Vandross, who was not up for best
album. Been
album.
Dead for 10 years.
Thank you. That makes more sense. And it was Kendrick Lamar with his album Luther. And she got confused and I felt really bad. People are saying she was showing her age. It was not a good, I think she thought it was going to be on the prompter, but it was a very much Oscar moment of like Moonlight. No, wait, it's not Moonlight. I mean, like it is Moonlight. Yes. Like it wasn't good.
Adele. It's my favorite. That's my favorite thing you do.
The wickedly talented Adele Dazeem.
I mean, don't forget Steve Harvey had that at the Miss Whatever pageant.
Miss Columbia winning, right? Exactly. Yeah, Luther Vandross. She said Luther Vandross, and everyone was like, "He's dead. he's gone. May he rest.
Yeah.
May he rest."
Yes.
But they were like Kendrick Lamar with the album Luther.
Right. She's like, I thought that was Luther's assistant.
She did look fantastic, Michael Dean. Whoever does her work is phenomenal. But she's 79, I believe. And it was just, I feel bad. It was not great. She corrected it, but
79, you can still be sharp at 79. Not everybody, but like, you know.
You're 79.
Right. Like 79 is like not, I think being in show business for as long as I have been, especially like working on the TV side, my first thought when that happened was some producer that was tasked with prepping her for her segment
just
went, they're fired. They went straight to craft services, told the guy, I know you got booze back there. Where is it? And he goes into his green backpack that said John Sport. And he got just like some Tennessee Williams. And that producer chugged it because they are about to
Tennessee
get
Williams, Tennessee whiskey.
just lit on fire. Like, because you would just know as soon as she did that, they would go, whose segment is this?
I know. I mean, it's terrible. They didn't prep her well. I mean, you do, but she looked phenomenal. I mean, let's just say that I really, I mean, whoever injects her, you do good. You do God's work. It was amazing.
Look, Cher's been holding it down forever. So shout out to that producer. We are sending them good vibes if they're up yet.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Yeah, that
it
was
bad. She was like, should I leave the stage? And then she walked off, and Trevor Noah just goes, I love live TV.
Oh, yes. All right. Well, one thing that I loved, and I wanted to get to just your thoughts really quickly, and we can put him under famous people because he's definitely famous. Independent journalist, former CNN anchor Don Lemon was free and spoke out on the steps of the jail where he was incarcerated. Tory, we talked about this earlier in the show in terms of, you know, Don Lemon being in jail and Ghislaine Maxwell, but no one else. What did you think about his being locked up? What do you think that message? I assume that you don't think it was great. So what do you think the message was that was trying to be sent? And what do you think it means going forward? Because what I told Sarah last night is, oops, you messed around and turned Don Lemon. You turned the light up on him for people to focus on him, not as a martyr because he's still alive, but a martyr in terms of all of our rights, all of our civil rights. And his strength is, and his voice is going to become 100 times louder than it was.
Two things. One, the 4 journalists they arrested, all black, all of them, which was insane.
And don't forget, they also photoshopped the image of that one black woman. Did you see that?
That's right. Yes, I did. I completely agree with you. They grabbed a snake that's going to bite him back. Lemon isn't going to let this go. He also is going to sue for wrongful imprisonment, I assume. He was reporting on what happened and giving context to the situation. That's called journalism. And if I haven't read the Constitution, then call me hoober boober, because I think freedom of the press is in that First Amendment. So they went after the wrong man. He will not let this go. He will continue to push this message. And what do we know from the playbook of dictators? Don't trust the doctors. Don't trust the scientists. Don't trust the teachers. Don't trust history. And then finally, don't trust the journalists. Don't take them at their word. Don't trust the comedians. Don't trust Jimmy Kimmel. They are trying to take them down. And unfortunately, this is violating the #1 constitutional amendment. There's no other way to look about it. That he was doing journalism and was arrested for being a journalist. That is against the Constitution. And he is going to non-stop ride on this subject for as long as he can. And he should. And he absolutely should, because he was violated enormously with his civil rights. And he will take this and run with it, as in my opinion, he should.
Well, Tory, 2 things, and I'm glad you said that because you're 100% spot on. And also, we talked last week about optics. And when you see Don Lemon, being charged with this, well, people say, well, let's go back and see what he did. Let's see if he was indeed involved in the protest. And it's almost like he was omniscient about knowing that this might have blowback, because as they're pointing the camera, right, he kept saying, I'm a journalist. I am not participating in this. He said it. So like, you can't even it can't be left up to any kind of interpretation about what he did.
Very clear. Very, very clear.
It's such a bad look. And the other journalist, I want to say, because I thought she had a cool name. I think her first name's Georgia and her last name's Fort. Yeah, Georgia Fort.
Mm-hmm.
And what she did was, when the ICE came to her door, she turned her Instagram live on.
Yes, exactly.
And she talked about it. And just hearing the police the ICE out front, while she is completely calm and normal and discussing what is happening in real time, that strikes something very innate and very human, to be in your home and the police are at your door in the middle of the night for the ICE, thank you, for doing absolutely nothing wrong.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that animates one of the best regular folks.
Yes,
Like
agree.
you are politically aware and politically
Right.
active.
But like
A
wine
lot of people we
mobs.
know,
But
right?
like
And
people
just
like,
people
you
that
know, normal people that's the right word, Al, activate. And I think by doing that, they really stuck their foot in it. And again, when Don Lemon has a pretty big microphone and his podcast has taken off, it's up for an NAACP award, and people are listening to Don Lemon. He's on the streets doing crowdsourcing. And for him to have been arrested, man, we're going to hear about this for a long time, and it's going to stick. He's going to win. He's going to win every lawsuit that he goes after. I also wanted to just bring up that there was a woman, I don't know if you saw this video, she was being chased by ICE and she called 911, and a local police officer came and had to help her not be detained by DHS. And it was the first
wow.
time local police, so you hear her in the phone on 911. It's the first time local police overrode federal agents. And
What city was this in?
I don't actually, oh, I think it was Minneapolis. I'm not 100% sure, but it's on her dash cam. And you hear her saying, calling 911. This will not be the first time that local police will have to then go against ICE agents. Philly says they're making sure all of their police know that they are required to arrest agents that go against their rules. So you will be seeing the local police going after ICE agents for being unconstitutional, as they should,
Right. Right. And don't forget, we played on the show when this was all starting to go down, Tory, like 3 weeks ago. The police was, I don't know if she was a sergeant, but she kept saying, "This is Philadelphia. You don't want that smoke." Remember that black woman?
Yeah.
And after that, I went down a rabbit hole of people on Instagram that are from Philadelphia, and they weren't even like, "Bring it, yo! I'm strapped up." It was just like everyday, average looking Philadelphians, like, y'all don't want to do that.
You don't want to mess with
like,
Philly. Like, you just do not.
We riot after we win.
That's exactly
They
right.
were like, "You don't understand this city and how we ride for each other." And he's like, "We don't call the cops. Don't worry about that.
We take care of it.
You can't be rolling." Yeah, we take care of it. And just so I'm sure, look, ICE is always, because they are seemingly untouchable at first, right? But their power only comes from the federal government. And the power only comes from how strong that federal government is viewed. Exactly. And right now, the legs on that table, that TV stand, are a little shaky.
Very
and
much
they
so.
know if they get grabbed up by a police officer while they're trying to tackle a fourth grade teacher, which is all they do.
Yeah.
Normally, they would expect to get the what's that monster that shot Renee Good? What's his name? We need to keep his name out there. Jonathan. Yes, they get the Jonathan Ross treatment. They throw you in the back of a trunk and get you out of over the state line.
Yeah.
But what if when you're in custody, this administration falls? Because it very well could, Tory. This is the stuff that's coming out about it. It's going to make it impossible to move forward one way or the other. They're going to have to go all the way authoritarian, but they don't have enough buy-in, and they can't take a step backwards because that kills authoritarianism. You have to yes and every shitty thing
double
you do.
down.
It's like
you have to double down.
It's like bad improv.
Yeah,
it's like okay, we shot a woman. Well, now let's shoot an ICU nurse. Now let's pull an old man out of his home in his underwear. Let's kidnap a fifth grader. Yeah, a 5-year-old.
Yeah, they choked a woman. No, they just recently ICE just started choking like a woman with green hair driving her car, and they just fully choke her like this as she's getting out. And just by the way, that was in St. Peter, Minnesota. The ICE and the police having to fight off against each other. So
St. Paul or St. Peter. Interesting.
Yeah, St. Peter. The St. Peter police chief intervened, and ICE eventually returned the woman. When you go to Philly, it's going to be cop against federal agent, and it's not going to be pretty.
Right. And the more and more the federal government wavers, the more we'll see ICE waver, because they're like the little rat that's talking mess because their big brother from the Marines is behind them.
Totally.
Once he leaves, we'll see what's up, ICE. I can't wait. Yeah,
yes.
we're gonna.
That's right. And they just released the names of the 2 people that shot and killed Alex Preddy. So look out for that because they are on administrative leave, but they found out who they were, and I want those names to be known as well.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting ride for you guys for a couple of years.
We're gonna
say
hear
that
about
total guess.
Yeah.
But Tory, I don't have to guess about this. It's time for this. What you got for me, girl?
Okay. Hold on. Here we go. Okay. Oxford University is older than the Aztec Empire.
Get out of here.
I know.
What year?
A long time ago. I think it's like 13. I mean, in Bologna, the University of Bologna is like 12 something, but it was before the Aztec Empire, 1096.
So yeah, you were only 300 years off.
1066 is the first king of England. That's crazy.
Who was that? King the First, John the First?
William the Conqueror in 1066.
Oh, really?
England, yes.
That's how I always knew I could never go on Jeopardy, because the English categories like William the Conqueror and like, you know, somebody the eighth, I'm out. I don't know. And potpourri, come see me, dog. I was ready.
But that's good,
Tory,
isn't it? That's a good fact.
Yes, and I will say this, Tory, not only do we have a great show today, but we have a special surprise guest that you and Michael Dean don't even know about coming in tomorrow. We'll be at Do.DK Studios, and it'll be a very special, fun show. Colleagues, you will know this person. So on behalf of Michael Dean. No, how would I bring your dad in without you knowing? I'm dead serious. Like, I could easily have a relationship with your dad, and just like we just slowly X you out, and you'll be like, why don't you invite me to lunch? We didn't think you were hungry. Just like, you're just talking to Sar, and she's trying to make excuses for me. he forgets.
He forgets.
Yeah, no,
my
I'd be down with us.
How are Alan Sar? How are Alan? How's Michael Dean and Mitchell? So I hope you like that fact, you guys. Sar, by the way, is Al's lady friend, who is one of my closest friends and is just a terrific human being, and really just, she's got a halo on her head. I don't know how Al got her. I don't know. I really don't. Sorry.
Thank you. And on that note, we're going to end it. Love y'all. I mean, so mean, Tory, all the time.
It's true. She's an amazing human.
All right. Well, Michael Dean is going to have to take us out.